What do you think of this? What do you think of that? He's up there on the last row. That goes into that.
Yeah, I talked to her. Well, you know, technically, we do direct, but she told me she'd really like to talk to us. Short and sweet. General manager. Yeah.
We have two speakers.
And I talked to her today.
Speak to me, there's an angle on it.
Yeah, Wednesday, that Trent's using this one. Coming out to talk about this issue.
If I hire a TLC, there isn't anything.
Yeah.
I'm saying everybody's walking around and
Well, but I think you could go and do this. I think there's a way.
Presentation.
This is,
let's just do that.
yes. Why don't you?
She's actually
You don't need to do it. And we are recording on tape and take some pictures. So, and I think if backward mics are on, I'll think that's on. Yeah.
I'll try. I'm really, really.
So,
Yeah.
that won't work.
It's just click the camera.
Sonia. So the boundary mics are on, so they'll pick you
Yeah.
up. So I'll get everybody up here.
I think we're going to start our evening with a presentation, so if we can get everybody's attention. Like the people that are going to do the presentation, we'll start with them. Yes. We're going to invite our friends up tonight that have played a major role in getting us an award for our water tank. So how many times does a town get an award for a water tank? But we did, and we're pleased to have Eric Totten here, who is with Tnemec.
That's correct.
Thank you. Tell us about what's going on, and you have a group of people here that are excited about this award.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. I know you're not here for the award, but thank you for giving me some time. My name's Eric. I'm with Tnemec Company. We are a paint manufacturer out of Kansas City, Missouri. We've been doing this for about 90 years. You probably haven't heard of us unless you own a water tower. But our company probably supplies high-performance coatings for some 2,000 water towers, steel and concrete tanks in the country each year. Last 10 years or so, we've actually had a contest honoring those that have used the coatings in innovative ways and made nice pictures on their water towers. So out of the 2,000 some tanks, I believe 200 were entered in this year's contest, and those get entered by the actual painter or a consulting engineer or the owner or sometimes the local representatives. Those 200 then go out to a nationwide vote where you can vote on the internet, and you get 12 finalists out of those. Those 12 finalists then go to a select band of water tank enthusiasts that select the tank of the year. This year, Normal, Illinois, the Redbird Water Tower was really high up in the running for what's known as the People Choice Award, which is the highest number of votes. If it wasn't for some voting irregularities that we usually only find in Cook County, this would have been ours. But site went down, and in the end, a small tower from Lebanon, Missouri, with the guy fishing on it, took that one from us. But we still are here to present you with a runner-up award. So we have some nice trophies, and I do have some calendars for anyone that wants them. Normal's Tower is the featured tank in the month of March. So we have the painter on the job was American Suncraft. They're out of Ohio. I don't believe someone from them is here. We have one for Mayor Reese,
Thank you very much.
Normal, Illinois.
Thank you so much. We will display it proudly.
Let's see. We have Mike O'Grady and Brian with the Redbird Pride and Illinois State University.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you very much.
And Patrick Brown from Tank Industry Consultants. These guys are the designers of the tower and put it out to bid for you. Your award went to the mayor.
Pass it his way.
That was it. Thank you.
Thank you. And the calendars are there for people that are dying to have a calendar with Tanks of the Year on it. How many others were going to have this? So this is your chance.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Thank you. Okay.
Got your, absolutely.
Excited about water tanks, I love it.
Absolutely.
I'm going to take a couple of those.
Congratulations. Steve,
Maybe I'll take one for the Christmas.
Thank you very much. Carol Gaines with the council.
oh, very nice to meet you.
Thank you.
How many times do you hear Tanks a lot?
It's an occasional pun.
Yeah, yeah.
Scott Preston on council.
Thanks a lot.
Eric, thank you very much. We appreciate you being here very much, so that's great.
How are you?
Good. How about you? Just throwing a
Apparently Steve Mark told me that you had to have one to the corporation council.
Got our water tank.
You just keep it on March all year long.
Here we are.
Put them over here. Wendy, you can turn that boundary mic off. Thank you.
Good. Okay. I thought I had it in here. It is. I'd like to call to order the normal local liquor commission meeting, and I'm going to ask for a roll call, please.
Commissioner Coos is not here. Mrs. Reese?
Here?
Mr. Fritzen?
Here.
Mr. McCarthy?
Here.
Mr. Preston?
Here.
Mr. Scott is not here. Ms. Gaines?
here.
First two items on our business this evening are approval of the minutes of the regular meeting on October 20th, 2014, and the special meeting on December 15th of 2014.
Move approval. Second.
Would you call the roll?
Mr. Preston?
Aye.
Mr. McCarthy?
Aye.
Mr. Preston?
Aye.
Ms. Gaines?
Aye.
Mrs. Reese?
Aye. Our second item of business is to relay to you the complaints and citations that have happened in the interim. And there are 5 that are listed in the material that you've received. It explains that each of those had a stipulation, a guilty plea, and a settlement agreement that was reached, and the fines were paid. So in each case, WIW Ventures, doing business as Noodles and Company. One was Freedom Oil Company. The next was Bradford Lane Italian Foods, doing business as Rosati's. The next one was Highland Park CVS, doing business as CVS Pharmacy. And the last was Max Convenience Stores, doing business as Circle K. So those were the 4 that have come before the mayor and been settled at this point. Yes.
Madam Mayor, just to point out, Wayne Karplus is here from the legal department. If you have any questions about any of these 5 cases, he'll be happy to address them.
Thank you. Anything? Yes. Ms. Gaines?
I'm trying to remember, were some of them more than the first?
Mr. Karplus is coming up, and he'll answer
Oh,
that. Yes, I think that is the case.
There were 2 that were second violations in 3 years. Rosati's was, their second violation was after a second violation. So they had a $1,000 fine last time, so this time it was a $1,000 fine and a 5-day suspension, which they got. The other one was CVS, which, this is the Fort Jesse CVS, not the one in Uptown. It was their second violation, but it was their first second violation, so it was $1,000. But the others were all first time with the $250 fine. Those are standard impositions of sanctions, which we've been doing for years. As you know, we have a record going back 25 years on these, and we really haven't changed them at all in 25 years at all. So these have been the sanctions we've been using for a long time.
Thank you. Anything further for Mr. Karplus? Okay, thank you. Thank you for the report on this. Is there any other business to come before the Liquor Commission? Hearing none, I'd call from...
Move adjourn.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Mr. McCarthy?
Aye.
Mr. Preston?
Aye.
Ms. Gaines?
Aye.
Mr. Fritzen?
Aye.
Mrs. Reese?
Aye. Liquor Commission is adjourned. We'll now move right into the meeting of the Town Council, and I'd like to call that meeting to order. We'll begin with a roll call, please.
Mayor Kus is not here. Mrs. Reese?
Here.
Mr. Fritzen?
Here.
Mr. McCarthy?
Here.
Mr. Preston?
Here.
Mr. Scott is not here. Ms. Gaines?
Here.
Please rise for a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item on the agenda this evening is the omnibus vote agenda. These are all items that will be considered as routine in nature. They will be enacted by one motion. There's no separate discussion unless a member calls for an item to be removed from the list. And the items before us this evening will include approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of January 5th, 2015, approval of the Town of Normal expenditures for payment as of January 14th, 2015, resolution requesting temporary closures of the state right-of-way for annual community events, resolution approving 2015 hourly rates and direct costs for engineering services from Clark Dietz Incorporated, Crawford, Murphy, and Tilley Incorporated, Farnsworth Group, and Lewis, Yaki, and Brown Incorporated. Resolution to appropriate $285,850 of the town's allotment of motor fuel tax funds for the Airport Road, Shepherd Road traffic signal project. And lastly, a resolution authorizing execution of a contract for the purchase of real estate at the 1001 Franklin Avenue address in Normal. That's on the agenda. Does anyone have anything? Yes, Mr. President.
I'd like to pull item E, please.
Item E. Anything else?
Move approval.
Move approval?
Yep. Second.
Second. Okay. Let's vote on these. Can you
Mr.
call the roll?
Fritzen?
Aye.
Mr. McCarthy?
Aye.
Mr. Preston?
Aye.
Ms. Gaines?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Reese?
Aye. Mr. Preston?
Move approval.
Second.
I have just a couple questions on this, I think, for city staff. As someone who lives about a quarter of a mile away from this intersection at Shepparton Airport, my neighbors and I don't often see a lot of traffic there. No, I know there is a elementary school in the corner. Certainly, at peak hours in the morning and afternoon, you'll get some normal community high school traffic, as well as probably Eastview Christian Church when they have activities. But I'm curious to learn more as to why we're seeing a need to put a traffic signal at this intersection.
Mr. Brown?
Thank you. Mr. Brown?
Mr. Preston, this signal installation is primarily being driven by the need to be able to cross pedestrians safely, especially children that live in the vineyards and the trails at Sunset Lake and any other subdivisions that may develop in the future on the east side of Airport Road. As of this year, well, the trails at Sunset Lake residents, those kids have attended Grove Elementary, I think, since the beginning, but the Vineyards subdivision until this year did not attend the Vineyards, and they do now, and we do not have a place for them to cross Airport Road for those wishing to walk to school. And we had several inquiries about that there wasn't a safe place for them to cross, and we looked at it, and really the most viable alternative was to install this signal, which was in our budget, in the 5-year budget anyway, now to provide that safe crossing. There are also some times of the day where motorists, especially during arrival and dismissal of the high school, where getting out of Shepherd Road onto Airport Road can be problematic for people. And also, Unit 5 has been having problems at Grove Elementary with people getting out of Shepherd Road. And they have, I think they were going to even put a sign up prohibiting left turns there now so that everyone would have to turn right. Because it's just, you get so much traffic on Airport Road, and a lot of them are turning then onto Shepherd heading back west, and they couldn't get out of that entrance. And this signal should help alleviate that problem also, but it's primarily being driven by the need for pedestrian crossing.
Thank you. I guess in response to that, my only concern is that talking about the Vineyard subdivision and looking at an aerial map of it, the entrance to the subdivision is actually closer to the intersection of Airport and Rab Road than it is to Airport and Shepherd. And seeing as we just put a light and crosswalks there, I guess, do you guys have any concern? Well, let me back up. Wouldn't it be just as convenient for individuals to cross at Rab that's already existent rather than create a
For some residents of the Vineyards, probably, but for some of them, there's a halfway point where it's actually closer to go down to Shepherd. Plus the trails at Sunset Lake, students, they would never walk all the way up to Rab Road to cross Airport Road because they are south of Shepherd Road.
It's, as you know, Mr. Preston, just to add, it's a long subdivision. Geographically, it's spread out. As far as the Vineyards are concerned, the residents, the children that reside on the south end of the subdivision, having them walk all the way north to Rab Road, cross Rab, and then they have to go all the way south, since the Grove Elementary's further south, they probably won't do it. And what we're seeing now is parents are assisting their children cross Airport Road at Shepherd. And Airport Road is a busy street, and it is a very wide roadway. And even with the signal that's proposed, we will still likely have a crossing guard there to assist children in crossing. So, ideally, that would be nice if people would make that trek all the way north, but from a practical standpoint, they won't do it, and they'll try to cross where it's more convenient. And Mr. Brown's right. The trails at Sunset Lake, which is even further south, it'd be a much further walk for those children to go all the way to Rab and cross over. And so it's probably just not likely or practical to do that.
Okay. Sure, and obviously we want to create the safest opportunities for
Right.
residents, students, anything, to be able to cross the road. The only concern I guess I have, or question then, is whether students coming out, primarily the Vineyards, trails at Sunset Lake, I do hear what you're saying, but in terms of volume, that's considerably less homes and presumably considerably less students attending that elementary school. Students from the Vineyards, will they walk north to Shepherd Road compared to just still crossing the street at the main entrance of the school, which does face Airport, slightly south of the intersection? Seems like a lot. Just, I mean,
We certainly can't prevent them, but I would think their parents would certainly encourage them to go down to the traffic light to cross, because you're crossing 5 lanes of traffic with cars moving at, 30, 35 miles an hour. And there's also, during drop-off time especially, and pickup at the school, there are a lot of parents on Airport Road maneuvering and jockeying for position to get into the school to pick up their child, the ones that do drive and pick up their children. So there's a lot going on there right in front of the school. So I certainly would hope the parents would encourage their children to go down to the intersection.
We did look, Mr. Press, it's a fair point, we did look at the possibility of a mid-block pedestrian crossing directly in front of the school. And that's typically not ideal, although it's been done in other locations, but you typically like to have a crossing at a fully controlled 4-way intersection. Motorists are much more aware in that situation, and usually it's a safer crossing. Mr. Brown's right. We looked at putting the possibility of a mid-block crossing directly across from the school, but as he said, during arrival and dismissal hours, that is a very congested area and probably would be, we felt, not very safe at all. And I would say with the presence, certainly the presence of a crossing guard at Shepherd, there's really not a lot of advantage for students to cross mid-block. I think they would probably go at Shepherd. That makes sense. And Mr. Brown's right. We can't control that, and I won't say that there will never be a student who tries to, take the path of least resistance or the shortest distance, but that's certainly not a safe situation. Hopefully, if not a parent, a school official will admonish them from crossing in that location. So the other thing I will add is, in there, I think there is some concern about a traffic signal adding to impeding traffic, particularly when traffic volumes are low, and through signal detectors, vehicle detectors and whatnot, we can control for that. So I don't think that we've got a situation where traffic on Airport will be unreasonably impeded. Because during those times when traffic is low, the lights will cycle accordingly.
There are going to be different programs put into the controller for different times of the day, even different days of the week. So those things can all be monitored when the signal's installed and changed to fit the conditions that exist, if we see something other than what we've designed for.
thank you.
Anything further? Mr. I will share, the cost of a traffic signal is vast. I think far greater than many people stop and think about, but $285,000. But the life of one child.
Yeah, there's really
It's the right-
just,
there's
there's
no
not a
way.
good alternative
There
in
is
that
not a good
location.
alternative.
And
Thank you.
we also, the other reason we didn't like the idea of putting a just pedestrian signal in, we're pretty sure that intersection is going to be signalized eventually. And at that time, we would have 2 signals so close together that wouldn't operate, that wouldn't function properly and be good either. So that is kind of why this is kind of the lesser of 2 evils. Put the signal in now for the need we have.
Okay, call the roll, please.
Mr. McCarthy?
Aye.
Mr. Preston?
Aye.
Ms. Gaines?
Aye.
Mr. Fritzen?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Reese?
Aye. That concludes the omnibus agenda. We had one item on new business that has now been pulled, so we have no further business this evening. I'll call for concerns. Hearing none, do I hear a call for adjournment?
Move adjournment. Second.
Second. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Preston?
Aye.
Ms. Gaines?
Aye.
Mr. Fritzen?
Aye.
Mr. McCarthy?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Reese?
Aye. We are adjourned.
job.